Good evening once again. So we are going to start straight away while others will meet us as we progress. And then I discovered that quite a lot of you have not been able to install the Microsoft Power BI. And I'm going to take us through that route on how to install the Microsoft Power BI desktop within a short time so that we can progress with what we actually have to do today. So I want to open another tab so that I will take us through how to install the Microsoft Power BI desktop. When you come to your browser, please can you
So your
oh,
screen, you've not shared your screen yet.
sorry, I forgot I haven't shared my screen. Okay. Please you can see my screen.
Yes, you can see it now.
Okay, that is good. That is good. So like I said, I've opened a new tab and I'm going to take us through the route of how to install the Microsoft Power BI desktop because a lot of you have been complaining that you were unable to install it using the link I sent. So when you come to your browser, you can just type uh, Microsoft Store. When you type Microsoft Store, sorry, you just type Microsoft Store and hit enter. So it will bring you to this interface. You see the first one here, which is Microsoft Store. You can see it. So you just click on it to open it. If you click on it to open it, it will open the Microsoft Store environment, just like what you are seeing here. So this is what basically you will see if actually you follow the right direction as I'm showing you. Then come to this search bar. You see this search bar, come to it, click there, and then search for Power BI Desktop. Let's search for Power BI Desktop. When you search for Power BI Desktop, then you click to search for Power BI Desktop, and then it will bring some of this app or software. Then by the left hand side, the first one you are seeing is what? Power BI Desktop. Just click on it. When you click on it, the process is not hard. When you click on it, it will open this place and it will show you download. Look at this download icon. It will show you download, but I'm not downloading because I already have Power BI, so I'm not downloading. So it will show you this icon, which is download. So just click on it. Once you click on it, the download process will begin, and you just have to wait for it to finish downloading. Once it finish downloading, since you did not, probably you may not see it, but just come to your PC search bar here, just click on it and then type to search Microsoft, or just type Power BI. When you type Power BI, you see this option, like the first Power BI displaying here on my own. You just see it. What you have to do, you can rather pin it. You can right click and pin it to your taskbar. Just pin it to your taskbar, and then you will have it like my own here, or probably you just launch it to open it. But it's ideally you pin it to your taskbar so that you can easily access it as your taskbar. So that is just basically the process of installing Microsoft Power BI. The reason why I took us to Microsoft Store is so that when you install directly from Microsoft Store, if there is any update, your Power BI will update automatically. But sometimes if you just install it somewhere there on just browser like that, it may not, the update, if they have any new features, it may not automatically reflect except you update it. But when you install through their Microsoft Store, if there is any update, it will update automatically. Whatever feature they add, it will automatically be added to your own. So that is just basically how to install the Microsoft Power BI. So let us quickly go to what we have today on the slides. Like I told us, today is what? Today is the fifth day. Today is the fifth day of our boot camp, and the first day of our journey using the Microsoft Power BI. And from our objectives here, what we'll be doing with Microsoft Power BI, firstly, is we'll know how to extract data from different sources using the Microsoft Power BI. So we'll use Microsoft Power BI to extract data from different sources. And the next thing is we are going to also learn data profiling, studying to understand our data after extraction. We'll learn it, data profiling, and then we'll learn data transformation, that is how to clean our data. And the next thing also we are looking at is data modeling. But you can see that this one is strike out. Reason being that if there is time, we are going to look at it. But if there is no time, maybe subsequently in the forthcoming bootcamp, most of the things that we may not be able to cover because of time limit in this bootcamp, definitely we are going to cover them in the subsequent bootcamp. So that's why I strike it through. If there is time, we're going to do data modeling. And the next thing we're going to do also is DAX expression, which is data analysis expression. That DAX means data analysis expression. So in bracket, I put intro, which means that we are not going, at this bootcamp, we are not going deeply into the nitty gritty of DAX, but we are just doing a little bit of introduction into DAX. And another thing we are going to look at is data visualization. We are going to do data visualization. And lastly, we are going to do report and dashboard. We are going to do report and dashboard. So let us go to explain what Power BI is. Now, sometimes when they talk of Power BI, people just look at this Power BI desktop. Their understanding is just about this Power BI desktop, but we have different types of, like about 3 or 4 types of Power BI. This is the first one is what the Power BI desktop. Like you can see on the screen, this is a desktop. So what this Power BI desktop is basically used, this is where you do your data extraction. You extract data from different sources. You extract your data, you you extract, you transform, and you do your modeling, your analysis, you build your dashboard and report. You write your measures and all of that. So this one, you download it just like the route I showed us on how to download. What you are downloading there is Power BI desktop. So that is what you are downloading into your PC or your desktop. So that this one sits directly inside your PC or your desktop. That is what you work with, where you connect to different data sources, you transform the data, you model, you write your DAX and all of that. You do your visualization, you build your dashboard and report. So this is where you will do it. But the thing is, after doing all of these things, building your report and all of these things, it sits in your desktop. Nobody can see it. Nobody can see it. It's only you that can see it. Or probably if you want to show another person to see it, you then need to take your laptop to the person to view what you have done. So whatever you are doing at the back end, nobody will be able to see. And the result that you have done, nobody will be able to see. So for anybody to be able to see what you have done, that is where the Power BI service now comes in. That is where the Power BI service now comes in. So Power BI service enables us to publish a report. Power BI service, sorry, the Power BI desktop is a free version, but the Power BI service is a cloud based, which means it's on the net. It's not something you download. The Power BI service, and this is where you do your work. You publish your report so that your team member, you can collaborate and share ideas with your team member, and you can share it to the general public for people to view and see what you have done. So this is where you do what your report sharing or publishing. Then for the Power BI mobile, this is a mobile app that you can install in your iOS or Android. It enables you to view the report that has been published. Like now, after using your Power BI desktop to build your report and dashboard, do your analysis and every other thing, you then publish it through Power BI service, and then you can view it through the Power BI mobile, which means you can install the Power BI mobile app either on your Android phone, or you can install it on your iOS, and then you view this report. You can even use your laptop, whichever one, and then view this report that you have been published on the cloud. The next thing we are looking at is how this, though I've explained this, but I just want to give us a quick view of how it works, how all of this work. Like here, these are most of the data sources. You can see you can extract data from spreadsheet, you can extract data from database, you can extract data from the cloud, from files, and all of that. When you now extract your data from whichever sources you want to extract data from, you now connect it to where your Power BI desktop, you extract it to where your Power BI desktop. So this is, like I said, this is where all your analysis take places. Your data cleaning, data modeling, uh, your measures, and then your visualizations and report. This is where you build it in your Power BI desktop, and then you publish it to where your Power BI service, and you view it through what your Power BI mobile and other devices that you can have access to the internet. So this is just a walkthrough on the types of Power BI, so that you will not limit your understanding of Power BI to just Power BI desktop. So I'm going to quickly launch the Power BI desktop from my PC. So from there, we are going to exploit some of the features on the Power BI desktop. So please, let's wait a minute for it to be launched. So basically, this is Power BI desktop. So basically, if you launch your Power BI desktop, this is what you are going to see. This is what you are going to see. And from here, you can see blank report. This is where, if you want to build your report or do your analysis, you click on this blank report. When you are beginning newly, you click on this blank report. Here are data sources where you can extract your data from. You can extract your data from one lake catalog, from Excel workbook, SQL server. Learn with this one is just to learn with a simple data, a sample data, and here is to get more data sources. When you click on this plus icon, it will bring out more data sources. But I'm not clicking here because whatever I want to show us here, we can see it from the inside. So this is what the home environment of the Power BI service, Power BI desktop. If I scroll down, you can see that on my own, on the recent, you can see most of the data I've been working with. But you that you are installing it newly, you may not see all of this because you have not worked on any data or any data set. But for me, you can see that there are a lot of projects, some are still down. But let me take us quickly to uh, the new environment. So we are clicking on a blank report to go to the home tab where our analysis will be done. So here, this environment that displays here on this white background, like you have a dotted line surrounded all over. So this area now is called what? Your report view. This is where you'll be building your report, where you see add data to your report. It's because we have not loaded anything. That's why you are seeing it this way. So this is where you'll be building what? Your report and doing your analysis. The next tab you are seeing here now, if you look at the left hand side, you see that you have 4 tabs. So the first tab is what? The report view, where you see your report and everything that you are working on. The second tab there is the table view. When once you do your data extraction and then you load it to your Power BI, if you click on this table view, you'll be able to see your what? Your data set. And the next one is your model view, where you'll be doing your model. you create relationship from your tables and all of that. And then the next one is your DAX query view, and the last one there. So um if you look at the ribbon interface, like I told us what a ribbon interface is during Power BI, I mean, sorry, during Excel class. So if you look at the ribbon interface, you see get data under home. Here we are under home. You see get data. When you click on it, you see different sources that you can extract your data from, either from Microsoft, I mean Excel workbook, from Power BI semantic models, from data flows, data waves, SQL server, data analysis services, text like CSV, web, and the likes of other. There are very many. There are very many. When you click on this Power BI, I mean on this more, if you click on this more, it will bring out more data sources. It will bring out more data sources. So you can see it from here. Now it's under all, but if you want to see it group by group, you click on the file. You see the sources that are under file, like the Excel workbook, the text and CSV, the XML, the JSON, the folder, PDF, and the likes of others. If you click on database, you see SQL server database, you see access database, SQL server analysis services database, Oracle database, and a lot of them. You can exploit them on your own. When you click on Microsoft Fabric, you see a lot of them. You click on Power Platform, you see a lot of them. Azure, you see so many of them here. So to tell you that you can extract data from whichever sources that your data is being stored, even from Google spreadsheet, you can extract data from. And this is the same thing. Maybe you see here Excel workbook, data lake, SQL server. They are still the same thing, like data sources where you can extract your data from. Here is where you can just enter your data manually and all of that. Here are most of the visuals where you see this insert. This is where you have your visuals, your chart that you'll be using to visualize your data. So you can see them here at this place. We have a lot of them that we'll be making use of during this class. And if you also go further, like if you look at my right hand side, at the edge, at the extreme edge, you see the first button there is what, or the first icon you see is the data. This is the data you import, the data set you import into Power BI. You see the name. When you click on this data, you see the name of that data set you import into Power BI. But if you want to view the data, this is where you now come to a data table view. That is where you now see the data set you have imported. So here is what the build, where you have this chart. And then we have another one, which is the format, where you do your formatting, your chart formatting and all of that. And then we have a lot of them. So this is just basically how the interface look like. But I want us to work on something this evening. We'll just extract a data set and do just a little bit of cleaning, data cleaning, and then to see how we can use Power BI to do some of this data cleaning. And let me say this for emphasis. Before you extract data from any source, you must know where the data is located. You don't just go and click on any source that you want to extract data. You must know whether your data is hosted on a database, maybe Google spreadsheet, or is seated in your own desktop. So you must know your sources first. And if the data is sitting in your desktop or on your desktop, first you must also know the file format. Pay attention. You must also know the file format. If your data set is being formatted as CSV, CSV means comma separated values. So if it is stored as CSV and you go through the route of extracting your data using Excel workbook, even if it is in your system, you will not be able to see it because you are not using the right data source to go and extract it. And if your data is seated or is formatted as Excel workbook, Excel file, you are using CSV, text as CSV, to go and extract the data from your computer, you will not see it. So you must pay attention to your file type. What is the file type of your data? Whether it's CSV or is text or is Excel workbook and the likes of others. So you must pay attention to that. It is only by that that it can help you to locate where your data is seated in your PC. And if other ones are on the cloud, you must also know which source is the data being stored, and then you follow that source to extract your data from the cloud. By the grace of God, probably maybe by tomorrow, we are also trying to see how we can extract data from a source, which is SQL Server database. So we are also trying to do that. By the grace of God, we'll extract data from SQL Server database. So now we are going to extract data using the Excel workbook, because the one I want to extract now is seated is the file format is Microsoft Excel. So we are going to extract it using what? The Microsoft Excel. So I'm using this first one to import my data. So I click on it. It will open my PC folders. And then you search from where your own is being stored. When once you get your PC folder, you search whether it is on the desktop, it is on a document, download, whichever place you store it, you search it from there. But this is the one basically that I'm using, which is on the desktop. This bat sorry, the title it Bartley structure says data. Bartley structure. So for you to even see the name Bartley structure says data, you know that the data set is actually BAT. So I'm going to click on it and click on open to load it to our Power BI. Is going to be extracted to where it's going to be extracted to is Power Query Editor. Power Query Editor. Now, Power Query Editor is where we do our data transformation, data cleaning, and everything about data transformation is done at where? Power Query Editor. So this is the navigator pane. If you look at here, you see two data sets. You see the clean data and the dirty data. If I want to view the clean data, I'll just click on it like this. If I click on it, it will be loaded on this view tab. So you can see how the clean data looks like. We have the segment, the ship mode, the order ID, and the sales. This is how the clean data looks like. If I click on the dirty data, you can see how it looks like. We have a lot of null values. In fact, this data is very, very dirty. What I mean very, very dirty is very, very dirty. So you can't even use it for any analysis without cleaning it. Very, very dirty. So for you to check in this data, you can see that since I just click on them, the load is graded out, the transform. Look at the bottom of where you see where you can view this data set. You see something like load is graded out. You see transform is graded out. It's because I have not checked these boxes. See the look at small boxes before the name of the data set. So if I check this dirty data, you can see that the load button now is activated. The transform button is activated. Now listen to this, very, very important. Don't just go straight to load your data without cleaning it. Though there are some cases, if you want to, there are some instances that if you want to maybe do your data transformation in a later time, you can go ahead and load it, and then later you transform your data. Please give me some time. So like I said, there are instances where maybe at that time you just want to load it, but you are not ready to transform it at that time. You can load it, but don't just load your data and you want to use it for analysis without first transforming it. You must first of all transforming it. There is what we call ETL. ETL is extract. That is where you extract your data from the source, just like what we did. Extract. Then the next one is transform, where you do your data cleaning and profiling. And the last one is load, which is extract, transform, and load. That is what we call ETL. So you extract your data from the source, you transform it, you clean it, you remove duplicate and all of that, and then you load it for analysis. There is in other way you can maybe load, extract, load, and transform, which is ELT. ELT, which is extract, load, and transform. But mostly you extract, transform, and load. Except, like I said, if there are cases that you just need to extract the data, you are not ready to transform it at that time, but later you still transform it before analysis.
Please, I've stopped hearing you. I don't know if it's on my end. I've stopped hearing you.
You are not hearing me. Please, can you people confirm if you can still hear me, or she's the only one not hearing me? Hello, please, if you are hearing me, please can you confirm that you can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
Okay, it's all right. So now what we are going to do here is to click on this transform tab. We are clicking on it, so it will now be loaded to our Power Query editor where we will do our data transformation. That's where we are going to do our data transformation. So please wait a minute for it to load. So this is where what we call what Power Query editor. So this is our Power Query editor. Though we in Excel we also have they also embedded Power Query editor too, but we didn't make use of it because of the limited time. But this is what Power Query editor, where you do your data transformation, data extraction, transformation, analysis, and visualization. So now you can see how bad our data set is. You can see how bad our data set is. We have null values everywhere. You can't even know where to start from. Just see what we have. We have about 16 columns. But you can see that the one that was clean has just 4 columns. But this one is about 16 columns, and you can see how bad our data is. It's very, very bad. Another thing that will help you to know that your data is very bad is this column profile. This column profile, like the first row is showing you valid 100%, error 0, empty 0. While on the consumer, you see that valid is just 9%. Valid is just 9%. Error 0, but empty is 91. Imagine, empty, that is null value, are 91. Valid are just what? 9. Come to the second table, the second row, valid is just 4. Valid is just 4. Error 0. Empty, which is null, 96. Come to the second row, you see valid just 11, error 0, empty 89, to tell you how bad this data is. And another thing too to help you understand, you see this dark line at the row there, at the column. The first one you see green all through, which tell you that the column is 100% valid. But this other one, the dark is more than the green, to tell you how bad this data set is. So what we are going to do first, there are 3 things we are going to do here. There are 3 things, or even 4 steps. In fact, more than that we are going to execute here. I just want to run quickly for want of time, and then tomorrow we'll continue from here. Firstly, we have to scroll down to the end. We want to scroll down to the end of our data. There is what we want to remove, the grand total. This data set has a grand total, which if we don't remove it and we analyze our data like that, we are going to have a negative. In fact, our result will not be accurate. You can see the last one, which is 825, is written grand total with the grand total set. So this grand total is still the total of the values we are seeing inside this data set. So if we still analyze it with this grand total, it will give us a false result in our data set, which is misleading. So we are going to remove it. So how do we remove it? You come to here where we have remove columns, remove rows. Look at where I am here under this reduce role group. The second one here is the first one is keep rows, the second one is remove rows. We are going to click on it, and then we are coming to where they say remove bottom rows. We are removing bottom rows, so we are using what? Remove bottom row. We click on it, and then it will take us to this place where it say remove bottom rows. So number of rows to be removed, number of rows to be removed. We are typing just one because we want to remove just one row. We want to remove just one row, so we are typing one, and then you click OK. So that row has been removed. Look at this place. This is where you have your apply step. So like in Power Query, whatever you are doing, we don't have something like undo in Power Query. So the only undo we have is, look at this, your apply step where my cursor is blinking at the right. So this is every step you are taking in Power BI, it is being recorded here. Like now we just remove bottom rule. You can see that it is written there, remove bottom rule. So maybe if you discover that maybe you made an error by implementing such step, you can cancel it. You take it to this sign that is like a cross a bit times. You just click on it and it will cancel that step, and then you redo whatever you want to do. So we don't have this redo like you have in Excel. It is under this apply step, so you just click on it and then you cancel it. So this property pin, these properties, this query setting, these properties, you can see our data name here. The data name is what? Dirty1. So we can rename it, our data set, to what? Let me just rename it to sales data. Okay, let me just leave it to sales data. So I have renamed it to what? Sales data. So the next thing we are going to do, we are going to transpose this data set. We are going to transpose this data set. Our time is fast approaching, but I will explain most of these things tomorrow because our time is gradually going. We are going to do what? We are going to transpose this data set. And why do we need to transpose this data set? Transpose is just to reverse, to change the placement of the data. Because one, you can see that we have a segment here, but let me clean this promoted headers. I want to clean these promoted headers first so that we will not have these promoted headers. Sorry. So these promoted headers, I've removed it, and this change type, I've also removed it. So now what we are going to do now, you see this segment, ship mode, order ID. These are supposed to be column headers. This segment, ship mode, order ID, they were supposed to be column headers, but they are seated under one column. So this tells you that you have to transpose your data so that these data headings here will be seated at their various column. That is one thing. So this is what we call data profiling. You study your data to know what is wrong with it. You study your data to know what is wrong with it. So I'm quickly going to transpose this data. You come here on the transform tab. You can see the home tab. You see the transform tab. Just click on it, and then you see transpose. Click on transpose, and then it has transposed this our data. You can now see segment, ship mode, order ID. The next thing we are going to do, we are going to promote the header so that this segment, ship mode, order ID will actually sit where we have column 1, column 2, column 3, and the likes of others. So you come to this place, you see this place here where it is written at the left hand side, the second tab there, you see use first role as headers. So you just check the drop down, it will open this first one. Choose the first one that says use first role as headers. You just choose it, and then it will use the first role as what? Headers. You now see that we have segment, ship mode, order ID. The next thing we are going to do, I want to do this very quickly so that I can take one or two questions before we call it a day or night. The next thing we are going to do, we are going to remove these grand totals. These grand totals you are seeing or consumer total, corporate total, home office total. They are not supposed to be. So we are going to do what? We are going to uncheck them. You click on this filter button at the segment column. Click on the the filter button. Come here and uncheck those totals. We uncheck those total, consumer total, corporate total, and office total. You check them and then click OK. We now have something like this. The next thing you have to do now, we are going to feed down all these ones. We are going to feed them down. So you come to this fill button you are seeing here. This fill button, just click on the drop down. You are now seeing this down. We are filling down. So when we click on fill down, it now fills everything down for us. It has filled all those ones that were empty. Then the next step we are going to take is to unpivot this data set. Why do we need to unpivot this data set? Because our data set, you can see that values that are supposed to be on a row are spread across. Like now we have order ID. You can see that under order ID, they are spread across columns instead of being in the order ID row. So this is where you have to know that you have to what? Unpivot those data set or those data. This is just an insight for you to know where, at what point are you supposed to transpose, at what point are you supposed to unpivot. So when your data that are supposed to sit under a particular column are spread across rows, you have to unpivot them. So in this case, I'll click on the segment which is correct. I press my control key, click on the shift mode to select these two, and then I'll come to this place. Look at this button that is written on pivot columns. On pivot column, we are still under transform, under the transform tab. You see this on pivot column. Click on the drop down to open others. Now the one we are going to use is on pivot other column. Don't use this first one that say on pivot column, since you have selected the one you don't want to unpivot. We are using the one that says on pivot other columns. We want to unpivot the ones that we did not select. So we click on it and say on pivot other columns. So we now have our data set this way. So quickly, what I'm going to do is to rename them. We are going to rename them, but I think we are going to rename them quickly before we take questions. So I'll double click on this segment so I can remove those greater than signs. I'll remove it. Then come to this shift mode. I'll double click. There are many or different routes you can take to rename, but I'm just taking this quickly because we don't have a lot of time. I'm going to delete this greater than sign. I'll also come to attribute. You can know that attribute here is supposed to be our order ID. So I'm going to double click and I'm going to title it order ID. So this one that has values is supposed to be our sales. I'm going to double click and then write what? Sales on it. So you can see that all the steps that we are taking here, look at under apply step, whatever step we have taken is being recorded. So at any given time that you know that maybe you made an error in any of the steps and you want to return back, you can cancel that step to redo whatever you want to do. So that is why you have this apply steps to record every step that you are doing, from transpose, promoted header, change types, filter, fill down, on pivot other columns, rename columns. All of them have been recorded here to know what you have been doing with your data set. So please, for want of time, this is where we are going to cut the curtain for today's class while we continue tomorrow from this same data set. There are other things we need to discuss about. So this is where we are going to draw the cutting line and take questions if there are any. Please, if you have any questions, you can unmute your mic and speak out. Let me hear you. Are we still on the call?
Yes, we're on the call. We can hear you.
Okay. Do you people have any question? so that if there is any, I can quickly address it before we call it a night, and then resume by tomorrow. Continue by tomorrow. Do you have any question? So if there is none, I believe you people have fully understood what was demonstrated here. So tomorrow we are still continuing from this data set. However, I'm going to send it, this same data set, I'm going to send it to the group so that you can have access to it. So tomorrow we are still continuing from this data set to discuss other things that we need to know on data cleaning and transformation. So thank you so much for joining our class today, and I hope to see us again tomorrow to continue from where we stop. Thank you so much and have a wonderful night rest. Good night.
Thank you so much, sir. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Good night.
Good night.